Good morning, man. Happy Sunday to everybody out there. Hope everybody had a nice weekend, a nice Saturday night. Um, Man, I had a nice night last night, man. As I can see, I kind of look beat and tired, man. I messed around and, ended up taking Avion to the sugar factory in Chicago yesterday. Man, oh my God. I'm going to hit y'all with that content today. I just got to do a little bit of editing, a couple voiceovers, you know. Um, Man, I don't even know where to begin at, man. I'm so tired. You know, Today's Sunday. I'm gonna try to go to church this morning. Give praise and give thanks to the Lord. Thanks to God. Uh, Man, it was crazy. I was telling somebody the other day, like, I believe, I believe in God, and we was, raised to believe in God. But my mama didn't. I didn't grow up in a church. Mama, we weren't going to church every Sunday. I had to go by my auntie house, and that's about it for me to go to church, right? And I was only going over there when I didn't even like going to church then, but I believed in God. I didn't grow up in church, right? So I'm trying to get that understanding. I'm trying to, start back. I'm trying to start to go to church and take, my son Avion, just so I can get closer to God, get closer to understanding. Knowledge is always key, you know. So, hopefully today I can accomplish that, even if it's an hour, man. I want to walk in there. I want to walk in, the Lord's doors and give him thanks, right? Man, I ain't get back here. I ain't get back in Milwaukee till 1 something. Man, it's crazy. My eyes are burning right now, right? And what's crazy, I'm still up giving y'all that content like I said I was, right? I told y'all I'm dedicated to this, right? And I know this is a slow race, right? You know, a lot yesterday, right? I was having, I had a lot of triggers yesterday, right? I feel like God was testing me yesterday a lot of times, right? And I can see, like, dang, now that I'm drug free and I'm clean, right? I noticed a lot of BS, right? That I should have noticed before, but I was too busy getting high. Right? So, right, I've been noticing little BS, right? And I've been calling people out on it, but who am I to think that I can just change somebody because I'm ready to change, right? It don't work like that, right? So I'm trying to be patient. I'm noticing, like, I'm knowing now and I'm understanding that I'm gonna see stuff differently now because I'm finally thinking clear. I'm finally not putting drugs or toxic in my system. Man, it's 2025. They putting so much stuff into pills. Man, it's just crazy now that when you take something, right, you got to be wary of it and what's in there. Even if you're giving it to a friend or something, you got to be wary, right? Because you're responsible at the end of the day if you give somebody something, right? So, me being drug free right now and me not putting stuff in my body, I told somebody this yesterday, right? I say, when I was using, right, I was putting my life at risk, right? I could have overdosed and died any day, right? Okay. Now that I stopped, right? I feel like I gave myself a better chance at living, right? I feel like the odds are better now for me far as living, right? Because now I can check overdose off my list as to, well, I know I ain't finna overdose to nothing because I ain't using. I can check that off my list, right? I know I'm not gonna overdose. Yeah, I can still get shot, stabbed, car accident, all type of stuff, right? Health. But I know that one thing is not gonna say on my paperwork when I do pass is drug overdose. And that part make me feel good, right? That, I just won't be another statistic, right? I lost a lot of friends, man, a lot of good dudes, man, to overdose, man. And I'm pretty sure you know somebody that you lost, somebody good to overdose, man. Overdose has touched so many lives, right? Man, so many good lives, so many young, able-bodied people, man. It's crazy. I never seen something take over some people that fast. It's people that used one time, man. And I keep saying this. It's people that used one time, and that's it. They died. That's it. Won't be no more, right? And there's some people that use 1,000 times before they die, right? And then you got some people that used and got themselves out that situation, and they no longer in there. Man, at some point we gotta want better for ourselves, right? At some point I had to want better for myself. I had to, not nobody else. I had to want it, right? And when you choose that over toxic stuff that you're doing, man, you'll notice yourself start to be more happier. Man, when I was using, I was angry. I was always snapping, right? Just the happiest I've been, right? I've been learning how to bite my tongue, even though you should never bite your tongue. I was always the type of person, I'm always speaking about how I feel. If I really, I love with my heart, and I care with my heart, right? And I speak from my heart. So I talk with a lot of passion, right? Anything that I do, I talk with a lot of passion, Man, it's crazy that the person that I'm molding myself to be, right? I used to go through a pack a day. Since I've been drug free and I ain't been using, man, I didn't even know it, but I'm starting to cut back on smoking cigarettes. I went a whole day without buying a pack, and yeah, I could have went to go buy a pack. It wasn't nothing. But it was the fact that I wasn't trying to spend no money, right? And the fact that I thought that as a thinking process, like, oh damn, I ain't even trying to spend no money. Like that I ain't dumb. I'm 37, right? And I know when I'm talking different. I know when things are changing for me, right? Like, I'm more happier. I see life changing, right? I'm trying to look for a job. I'm trying this Facebook and this YouTube stuff, right? My end goal, you gotta set goals for yourself, right? So my goal in this YouTube and Facebook thing, I hope to, be able to give me a laptop or a computer or a mic where I can edit, my videos, and I can come with better content, where I can do more stuff. I can only do so much from this phone, right? But I got to put the work in. I do, right? And when I say putting the work in, I got to be dropping content. I got to be recording videos. I got to be reposting. I got to be sharing. I got to be commenting. It's stuff like that I got to do to help me along that way, to help me accomplish my goal. If I don't do those things, it's not going to happen, right? You got to chase stuff, man. And it seems, and when you obtain it and you get it, it seems it's that much better. It feels so much better. It seems so genuine. Like when you obtain something that you worked hard for, can't nobody mess that up. Can't nobody change that, right? And I'm learning, like, other people's opinion don't matter, right? And I've been getting people that's been coming to me asking me how do they start their Facebook, right? And I always was the type of person to tell people, like, man, I feel like people, they get in a position of gatekeeping, or, they get in a position to help other people and they don't. They choose to sit on the information, right? Always been the type, I spread it. Game is to be told, not sold, right? That's how I look at it. You can't just sell game. Some stuff you can't sell, man. Sometimes, you got to just tell it to the right people and hope that, I'm telling it to the right person. They finna use what I said and they finna implicate that into their life or into what they doing, or they finna pass it on, right? I always said, you either a part of the problem or you're part of the solution, right? For so long, I was part of the problem. I'm poisoning my community, right? And, things wasn't going well, right? And now I see I'm a part of the solution, right? I see I have a voice. Even these young kids, man, they out here, robbing, killing, carjacking. You can't say nothing to these YNs, or they'll end up busting you, right? You'll be laid up in the hospital like, man, I tried to tell the young nigga, tell the YN something, he pulled out a gun and shot me. Like, man, you can't even an argument, and they hiding these guns so good on them, so good. You used to be able to tell, like, oh, he ain't got no gun. Okay, let me analyze the situation. Okay, now you can't even tell. You'll mess around and get up on a YN and tell him the wrong thing, and you turn around, oh, he just shot me in my ass. Man, it's wild, man. And, parents need to become more accountable for their kids. Yes, your kid is grown, but you are the parent, right? They have to learn it somewhere. Kids ain't gonna listen to nobody, but at least you can become a voice, man. If you sitting up there telling your child where they got a place for you and how things can be, or showing them somebody that been there, Like, man, when they put you in that jail cell, man, and take you away from your family, man, ain't nothing nobody can do. You can't get saved. There's no guns. It ain't no guns in jail. You got to use these, right? So, yeah, you can use them guns now on the streets, right? But you see that person that's been waiting to catch you in jail, and he give you these beep, bump, boom, boom, right? And you ain't got no gun. Now you talking about, oh, when I get out, I'm a shooter. I'm a killer. Like, man, we gotta learn how to start living righteous, man. We gotta start learning how to, hold ourselves accountable, holding each other accountable, right? These kids have to learn this from somewhere. We was doing all this stuff 10, 15 years ago and wasn't caring about the kids watching. Now look what the kids doing. But we the one that started this. Just like for us, it was the generation before us. I'm an 80s baby, 88. So you can imagine the time I grew up in. I'm watching the world change before my eyes, right? Didn't even know it. Watching the world change before my eyes. And what's crazy, I'll be thinking like, man, my son Kyriel, like, he passed when he was 13, and you know what I always be thinking? Like, hey, I'm glad my son never experienced heartbreak. He'll never experience backstab. A friend backstabbing him. It's certain stuff my son won't experience that I'm cool with. I'm glad my son had never experienced that, right? But it's some things that I wish he was here to experience. Man, y'all young cats, man, I wish I was young, man. I wish I could go back, man. I didn't have no responsibility when I was younger, right? All I had to do was go to school. Man, it's so much dependent on me and put on me at this point, man. I will pay anything and do anything to go back in time, but I can't. So therefore, only thing I can do is tell the YNs, man, enjoy this time while you can, while you're young. Live your life. Don't tie yourself down in a relationship. Man, go get an education. Go to school, because you're nothing without it. I tell my son all the time, man, you can be anything you want, right? I was adjudicated felon before I was 18. So I was a felon at 15, right? So I feel like I didn't have a chance, right? But so I tell my son, man, you got a chance. You can be whatever you want to be, man. When when you get out here and start thinking you grown and you doing grown stuff, and now you got to pay the grown consequences. Now, it take you out the equation with a lot of stuff, right? And I try to tell my son, man, listen, ain't nothing worth it. I teach my son de-escalation, right? Because people act like they pride is just too much for that, right? De-escalation will stop so much. And it's people pride that gets in the way that prevents that de-escalation, right? Pride. When I say pride, motherfuckers act like they can't say, they too manly or too, they pride too much to apologize or to say, or to admit that they wrong. Man, pride will kill you. Pride will eat you alive. I'm telling you, it will. I'm telling you because I done been through it. Pride, it ain't nothing nice, man. De-escalation. Ain't no fight worth it pulling out no gun. Then you pull out a gun just for a scare tactic and you don't use it, and you turn your back and now he pull out a gun and kill you. Man, we got one life as far as we know it. I believe in reincarnation, right? But we got one life, right? One life. One life, right? And we got to make the best of this while we are here. Oh, I thought I had my chopstick in here. It's not. But yeah, we got to make the best of what we got while we're here, man. For me to be a dad again at the age of 37, I haven't had a child in 10 years, right? I'm curious of what parenting looks like at 37, right? And this is a new experience for me. I had my kids, before I turned 20 and in my 20s. My oldest is 18. My oldest will be 19 September 17th, and that's what's crazy. I'm going to tell you how God worked. The new baby due date is September 17th, which is my first daughter's birthday. She'll be 19. Now this isn't by the baby that I got on the way is not the mother of the 18-year-old. Whole different mother. It's just crazy how God just manifests stuff and put things in order, right? And I'll be like, and I always was like, man, I just wish my son Kyriel was here. And his mom used to be like, he is here. He know I'm pregnant before we knew that I was pregnant. And then it turned out to be a boy. And then, this just feeling this reincarnation that I believe in. You ever talk to somebody or see somebody younger and you like, people be like, man, they done been here before, right? You ever feel like you've been here before, but you can't, like you got memories that you can't account for? Like, I feel like I was here on earth before as something else, right? I feel like when we die, you come back as something else. Sometimes people don't come back, right? That's my opinion. That's my opinion. Everybody entitled to their opinion, right? Everybody. So, that's just what I feel, But, I hope this morning's message, I hope it, hit a few people. I always tell y'all, like, share, comment, any ideas, any of that. Let's see. Yeah, so hopefully, I got some new stuff coming up. I ain't gonna tell y'all what, right? But I got some things in store, right? Some different content. Like I said, if y'all got any ideas and y'all want me to do something, or y'all want me to post more of something and less of something, man, let me know. I'm all ears. There's no such thing as back criticism. It ain't. I'm learning. I'm growing. I learn from everybody, right? So I hope everybody have a good day, a good blessed Sunday. I'm gonna try to have a good blessed Sunday. Sunday is the day of the Lord. It's the day to rest. I'm tired. Hopefully I can rest today. Like I said, I got some editing and some I told you I want to post my stuff from the sugar factory that I went to last night. I posted a lot of I recorded a lot of content, Chicago streets, walking down the street, POV. I'm gonna be doing a lot of POV too, a lot of point of views, different situations, father and son, man and woman. I'm gonna just post different things, right? Different point of views, so y'all, so people can just, I guess utilize and watch different tools, or y'all could just see my experiences, what I've been through. I've been through a lot at 37. I went through the stuff that an average 37-year-old don't go through, right? I take it all in stride, man. I'm just glad that I'm here, man. I used to always question, why am I still here? And I see people get taken out this game so easily, and now I can see and I recognize I got a greater purpose. I really, truly understand that now, I see myself being very valuable. I think I'm very valuable now, right? I think, I got a lot of insight on different stuff, man. I got a lot of insight on different stuff. Then, this Big U stuff is crazy, man. It gets crazier by the day. So since Big U, taking it to trial, it's like, I feel like the feds is really hammering down on the other people in the indictment. Oh, you want to take us all the way? And you wrong? Okay, we got something for you. But I'm gonna be posting that too, man. I'm posting that, man. So yeah, y'all have a nice day today, man. I hope everybody have a blessed Sunday, a good Sunday. Don't let nobody mess up your day, And we gonna we finna get ourselves ready for Monday. We finna get ourselves ready and see what Monday got in store for us, right? I'm curious, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think, man. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, I need more followers. I need people to follow more. Please add my pages. Please add my pages. Please. At Crash Out Angels. On every platform, Crash Out Angels, man. All right. I'll holler at y'all.